right? But I just want to give a brief update, and then I want to change my clothes. I got a cute court outfit on today. I can't, let's see if I can set you right. Can't go too far, can I? It's a little lace skirt, sheer top, white under blouse. I had some red, white, and blue beaded earrings on. It was pretty cute. So anyway, I'm gonna do this real fast. Hi, Tricky. What? She's jealous. See, I've been spending time with her, and now I'm ignoring her, and she's jealous. I went to court this morning in the Duval County Courthouse, and I took some notes. First of all, my son came out shackled and chained and had, thank you, Patsy, and he's so skinny, y'all. He's so skinny right now. Anyway, his hearing, this was not a hearing date, this was a date to set the hearing, is on March 5th at 4 o'clock. So I don't know if I'll still be here or not. But I have a couple topics of discussion, like the case right before his was a guy who really struggled with mental health. Now I couldn't catch everything that was going on because I had to sit in the back. And this courthouse is so much different than it used to be. The defendants have to sit on one side, the family members or observers have to sit on the other side in the back, the victims sit in the front row. So it was hard, and there's empty rows obviously saved for something. So it was hard for me to find a seat, and I'm so confused, and I'm uh anyway getting pushed around and getting talked to very sternly by all the court staff. I couldn't apologize enough for making mistakes because I haven't been here in 20, 30 years, and I don't know the new rules. Like, it was kind of, it's very frustrating because these little bit of people get a little bit of power and they go overboard. Sitting on groom and bride side, right? So, man, it was so bizarre. And then I just wanted to sit on the edge when my son came out so that I could see him and he could see me, right? I haven't seen him in over a year. So uh, I moved when some of the, thank you, Trixie, when some of the people moved in the front row, I moved up to the front row. And the mad lady was sitting there and she snapped at me. Only victims can sit here. Okay, okay. So one seat back, one pew back, there was a empty seat on the end, and I knew there was a lady sitting there, but she was in a meeting with the attorneys at the time, so she was in one of the conference rooms. So I just jumped up and I went back to that back seat. Well, of course, the guy with her proceeds to tell me somebody's sitting there and I can't sit there. And I'm trying to tell him, okay, I'm going to move right after this. I'm going to move right after this. And he wouldn't quit talking to me. So the bailiff comes over and she snaps at me. If you're going to keep talking, I'm going to kick you out. Well, it wasn't me causing the talk. And so I kind of went, like, I waved, like, okay, okay, I don't want to go out, you know. And she was, oh, she thought I was like, waving her, go away. She was fired up. She said, don't wave me aside. And I looked up at her and I said, I don't want to go out. And she walked away, but she kept a dirty eye on me the whole time. Like, I wasn't trying to shush her away. I was trying to say, okay, okay, you know, fine. Anyway, all they did was reset the court date on his. But I did get a chance to talk to my attorney friend. I got a chance to talk to his attorney. I got a meeting with his attorney at 3:30 on the phone this afternoon. So there was a case before his, and I found it very interesting. It was a guy, he was struggling with mental health, and he was getting a community sentence. He had a good attorney, I guess, whatever. She was dressed really cute, and they did a good job. But anyway, some notes I wrote down during his thing, just some observances and thoughts that went through my head concerning mental health and the justice system. Well, this guy was getting a deal where he had to, continue with mental health treatment. He had to stay on his meds. He had to do all that stuff. So judge asked many questions, re-medications. So he kept re-questioning him like, are you taking the medications you're supposed to be? Are you on any other substances? Are you supposed to be taking any medications you're not? And my side note was, it's not because they care, but it's because they have to cover their own asses for their behavior and decisions. So that's that. And it's all a show, and they all work together. And it's like, a lot of the times they already know what the outcome is going to be. One of the things that the judge said while he was reading off his sentence is he said to this man, who seemed to be a pretty kind man, he says, your court demeanor has been perfect every time you've been here. You've always been respectful, blah, blah, blah. Therefore, I'm going to approve this, right? So my note here was fit in or pay. Like, you have to play the game. You have to fit your role in the act, in the scenario, or you're going to get kicked out. You're going to get pushed aside. You're going to get, the judge is going to give you a harsher ruling if you just don't toe the line to perfection. Okay, so then my friend had told me, well, I'm done. Once Baba 2 was out, I was done. My friend had told me, except that his attorney told me to wait for him out in the hall and he would be right back. And I waited for like 45 minutes. Hi. And he never showed up, but at least he called me and made an appointment to call me at 3:30. So I had heard about a case upstairs on the next floor that the man was representing himself. What I was told about the case, the defendant was, what I was told about the case is that the man was caught with a tub of, I can't say it, not much room for hand signals. He was caught holding a tub of items that came out of this church's garage. So he's representing himself, which led to a discussion of, why does the court hate people or, get so offended when people try to represent themselves? Well, I know they try to say it's because they're a pain, because they don't know the law, they don't know the rules, it becomes messy. But it's all about the money, guys. It's all about the money. All the lawyers work for the court. It's a scam. Okay, anyway. So the church robbery or burglary, the guy was pro se. I felt really bad because the defendant was in his jail clothes, chained at the wrist and the waist, while he was trying to act like an attorney, like he's the attorney defending himself. And I couldn't believe that they had him dressed in peace. Hey there, Adam. Yeah, Lori, if you don't have money, and that's one of the reasons I quit practicing law many, many years ago, is because I realized without money, you're not going to get justice. You're not. And to get justice, you're going to spend more money than you're probably going to get back. Anyways, So this poor guy felt bad that he had to conduct his trial in chains and in jail clothes. The witness that I saw testify that the state called was a pastor, Roosevelt Simmons, at the Church of the Living God. So it was his church um, that got robbed. Yeah, it's all smoke and mirrors. Yes, ma'am. So, and some of these, so many people are still believing in the justice system, like this pastor he's only about right or wrong, And in his testimony, let's see, it appeared to me that the jury was very interested. Okay, wait, this is when the defendant comes on. So anyway, the prosecutor questions this pastor. One of the questions she asked him, was it hard for him to testify here today? And he said no, because right is right and wrong is wrong. So, all of a sudden, he started and then when the defendant cross-examined him, the defendant was asking him about, first he was asking him about their relationship, like they've known each other for years and years and years. This case, I don't even know the name of the case. I was just interested because it was a pro se hearing, and I thought it would be interesting just to drop in, and I didn't even catch the name of the case. So yeah, the defendant is cross-examining the pastor, and they talk about their previous relationship, which was years long, and it doesn't seem to be like it was a terrible relationship, but the pastor had a very good relationship with the man's dad. Well, then the defendant is asking about cameras. Does the church have cameras? Does the church have cameras pointing at that trash can? Does the church have, is there, and yes, there is a camera. She's just playing, guys. She's not in distress. She's playing. Pointing, at certain areas. And the answer was yes, seems awful biased for him to be in cuffs and jail clothes. Exactly, Tricky. And it was a jury trial. So part of it is he didn't have anybody to advocate for him to wear civilian clothes, or maybe no family to bring him clothes. Hi, AP, I'm buffering. I forgot to connect to the internet. Is it buffering real bad? No, she's a Commodore. She's a full-blood Commodore. But I think the doodles, the cockapoos, they're cute. Okay, not buffering for some. Okay, so the jury was yawning before, but seemed to be very interested when it came to the cameras. The question, they were paying attention when they were talking about whether there were cameras and was there no video evidence, right, from the cameras. So there was no definite answer. Like, I think the poor guy couldn't drive the point home. He was too meek to drive the point home that why am I not on video if there's videos pointing at this? Next thing is the state got to redirect. So the state redirected, and during his answering his questions, oh wow, a similar breed to, oh yeah, she is. So she's similar, just much bigger. She'll look almost just like him, only much bigger. It's kind of cute. The hedgehog is in the bathtub, and the whole time I was gone, she was laying down on the tile floor next to the bathtub taking a nap. Anyway, during his testimony and the state's cross-examination, he started testifying about God and how he when he heard that there was a break-in on his way, he clearly heard God's voice. And God told him it was somebody he knew. And I was wondering how long this was going to be allowed to go on. And shortly after that was, I was thinking that the judge said, sir, I'm going to need you to stick to just answering the questions. So that was pretty much the end of that testimony. Let's see. The state, after that, the state rested. I didn't see, that's the only witness I saw. And so then the judge turns on well, first he excused the jury for a break, and then he asked the defense if he's going to produce any witnesses. And he says that he's going to call the prosecutor. Don't know. So the judge says, what information would the prosecutor have that would be relevant to your charges? And he states that he has a whole list of questions that he needs to ask the prosecutor. And the judge says, okay, well, let's talk about those questions. So he gets out his list, and he really, really was struggling. I don't know if he was struggling reading them or struggling to try to figure out how to explain how this was relevant, how to explain it to the judge. But like, he wanted a couple things he wanted to ask. It was about the paperwork, the information. Did the state file the information? He wanted to talk about what was in the information, which is only fair, okay, I think. And he wanted to ask them questions like, were you there? Did you witness the event? I don't know. But anyway, stuff like that. Anyway, it turns out that that's the only witness that he's going to call, and he's not going to testify. So that was it. It was a break. They had, I don't know what else hullabaloo they were going to do, and I was already getting worried about the animals, and also I had a parking situation. So I had to get back to my car, and yeah, so I'm back in the hotel. We've taken several walks already, and I'm getting ready to change, put on some shorts, and chill out for the afternoon. I'm actually think I'm gonna have dinner with my friend. Like, I actually do have friends and people that I hang out with sometimes. So that's my report for now. I still got to catch up on what's going on with everybody else. Peace out. I hate going to court. It's not fun. It's nasty. It's all a scam, in my opinion. I'll talk to y'all later. I need the beach. I would love to go to the beach. But if I go to the beach, I couldn't be back in time for dinner. So I might go to the beach tomorrow. All right. Have a good day, everybody.